Most submarine stories from World War II are about sinking ships, tankers, freighters, aircraft carriers. The USS Barb sank plenty of those, 31 enemy vessels by official count. But the Barb also did something no other submarine has ever done, before or since. It blew up a train, not a torpedo, not a naval mine. A train on land, using a small sabotage team launched from a submarine that had snuck into shallow waters where no sub was supposed to go. The man in charge was Commander Eugene Fluckey, and his logic was simple. If the enemy's supply line runs along the coast, then the submarine belongs right there, waiting. Fluckey took command of the Barb in April 1944. He was 30 years old, restless, and deeply skeptical of how submarines were being used. Standard doctrine said subs attacked convoys in deep water, then ran silent to escape. Fluckey thought that was cowardly. He preferred to take his boat into harbors, bays, and even rivers, anywhere the Japanese felt safe. On June 8, 1945, the Barb snuck through a minefield off the coast of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost main island. That minefield had been laid specifically to keep submarines out. Fluckey brought his boat in at periscope depth, using a homemade magnetic compass because standard ones went haywire near the mines. 8 of his crew had never been on a war patrol before. None of them had done anything like this. Their mission was not to sink ships. It was to disrupt coastal rail traffic, the lifeline for Japanese troops in the north. Fluckey had noticed something from earlier patrols. Trains ran every night along the shoreline, and they were lit up like Christmas trees. No blackout discipline, no guards. Just a predictable schedule and a lot of high explosives in the boxcars. The problem was physics. Submarine deck guns could not elevate high enough to hit a train on a cliffside track. Fluckey needed to get his men onto land with explosives and put them right next to the rails. That had never been attempted from a submarine in combat. There was no manual for it. On July 22, 1945, Fluckey picked 8 volunteers. Most were not commandos. They were machinists, electricians, and torpedo men. Their leader was a 21-year-old lieutenant named William Walker. Walker had never blown up a train either. The plan was absurdly simple. Paddle ashore in rubber rafts, plant 15 charges of high explosive under the rails, wire them to a pressure switch, and paddle back before the midnight train arrived. What the plan did not account for was the shore itself. The landing site was not a beach. It was a rocky ledge covered in slick seaweed with a 6-foot seawall and a Japanese sentry post about 50 meters away. Walker's raft capsized in the surf. 2 crewmen lost their demolition bags in the water. One of them, a gunner's mate named Billy Hatfield, went back in, fully clothed, under enemy observation, and found the explosives by feel alone. On the tracks, the men worked fast. They connected the charges, rigged the pressure switch, and realized they had forgotten wire cutters. So they used their teeth to strip the insulation. That is not a metaphor. They bit through copper wire in the dark, lying on Japanese railroad gravel. The patrol returned to the rafts. Then they waited. At 11:45 p.m., the train came. 16 cars, passenger cars in front, freight cars behind. The lead truck hit the pressure switch. 15 charges detonated simultaneously. The locomotive lifted off the rails. Cars piled into each other. The wreck burned for 2 hours. Japanese reports later confirmed 12 cars destroyed, over 150 casualties, and a rail line shut down for 3 weeks. Not a single American was injured. The Barb submerged and vanished back through the minefield before sunrise. Fluckey received the Medal of Honor for that patrol. The train sabotage became a footnote in most histories, which is a shame. because it proved something that modern special operations forces now take as gospel. Small, creative teams with limited resources can break a supply chain that battleships cannot touch. Every nighttime raid from a submarine today, every SEAL delivery team, every dry deck shelter, owes a debt to Flucky and his 8 volunteers. They improvised. They bit through wire. They paddled through surf that should have killed them. And then they blew up a train because nobody told them it was impossible. The Barb was decommissioned in 1954, but her battle flag still flies, unofficially, with a small train stitched into the fabric. Subscribe to War Machiner and share this if you value history that goes deeper.